Actually, that's spot on.
Spot on.
Everything is spot on.
Actually, that's spot on.
Spot on.
Hello and welcome to the Spot on Sports NFL mock draft for 2022 picks 11 through what is it, 21?
11 through 21.
We're doing 11 through 21
Washington
today.
through New England.
I am excited to be here with my favorite co-host, my man, my partner in crime, Darian. How are you doing? The Mouth of the South is back. And we have some very interesting picks to talk about today because some of these teams, even though these are mid-level first round picks, these teams may be getting some life-changing players in a draft that does not really have any superstar names, but does have some potential key pieces that could change the dynamic in the life of some of these franchises.
Yeah,
So
there's some players. There's some players in there where I truly think that let's get to the elephant in the room. There was no quarterbacks drafted in the top 10. So that means somebody here is going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Unquestionably. I ain't gonna say unquestionably because that could come happen, but somebody's gonna get the top rated draft quarterback prospect. And Kyle Hamilton wasn't there. I'm excited to see how we do this draft today because there's a certain stretch of this draft between 14 and 19. It's the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Saints both have 2 picks in that same stretch, and you have the Chargers. And it's a pick where I think that you could see a lot of toes being stepped on.
Absolutely.
These teams all kind of need similar pieces. They don't all need the exact same thing, but there are, whether that's cornerback, wide receiver, offensive line help. It all kind of mingles in, and it's a situation where I could be like, oh, I had a pick at 17, but my guy got drafted at 15, or my guy got drafted at 16. It's a lot of toes that could be stepped on here.
Speaking of which, can you give us the list of the first 10 picks that were drafted this year before we get started with our discussion?
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so the Jaguars got Aiden Hutchinson. The Lions went Kayvon Thibodeau. The Texans picked a surprise, and I think this guy is highly rated, but he got Sauce Gardner at number 3. The Jets had Chris Olave as the first wide receiver off the board. And then finally, we get to our first offensive lineman, and that is Evan Neal. Then we get another lineman again with Icky, my guy Icky out of North Carolina State. Then you have the Giants coming back with Devin Lloyd, a linebacker in the top 10 again. Garrett Wilson to the Falcons. Charles Cross. So what you're seeing right here is 3 offensive linemen in the top 10, and all between 5 and 9. So that's a big run on offensive linemen that I could see happening, and it ends off with the New York Jets getting Derek Stingley, my personal favorite defensive back in this draft. So we got Washington. Washington.
If we're gonna start with Washington, at the 11th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, I have them picking Jamison Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. Reason being, I know a lot of people are going to ask, okay, why not defense? Why not shore up that offensive line? Their only weapon is Terry McLaurin. So without no significant weapons, Carson Wentz is already I'm going to use the term limited quarterback. So if he's able to get some people that can kind of carry him as much as he's going to need to carry that franchise, I feel like it'll be more of a help than a hindrance. And I know that there are a lot of people that think it may be something on the defensive side or an offensive lineman. But if we saw anything from Cincinnati, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, and you have to strengthen your strength.
Look, I'm gonna tell people. Be honest with you. Look, that Burrow Chase dynamic is different, and I don't suggest you try to replicate it at all times. You got to make sure you got one of those guys. I could see Herbert doing that, even though they have Williams and Allen. I could see them type of quarterbacks Carson Wentz ain't that type of quarterback. Carson Wentz ain't that type
Yeah.
of quarterback. Not to me. For me, Carson Wentz needs a lot of assistance, and I'm going with them picking the first safety off the board, and that's Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. And
Wow.
he's a guy who some
Wow.
people will tell you is the best player in this draft.
Ooh.
Regardless, I've heard this on multiple occasions.
Hi.
I have. I've heard it, and he doesn't play that position that people love. He's not a edge rusher. He's not a cornerback. He's a safety. Some people think that's a lower value position, but
A safety can change life.
it can. And at the end of the day, you did lose Landon Collins this offseason. You're gonna need to probably shore up that safety position, and you have I believe it's Cam Curl over there, and I think that Kyle Hamilton comes in, and if you can get the best player, but let's see how we're going to decide on it, because we have to come up with a decision, because we can't pick two players.
Right. I like your argument, so I'm gonna go with your pick. So go ahead and announce it. So we'll go ahead and and stamp it.
We have, with the number 11 pick in the 2022 draft, the Washington Commanders select Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame.
Wow. Okay. I like it. So at number 12, we are going to the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm going to go defense. I think they're going to take another corner, Trent McDuffie, simply because I know that Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams, but he's still in that division. They just got we saw Jared Goff take a couple extra steps. We don't know exactly what he's going to be, but we saw Jared Goff take a couple extra steps, and Justin Fields is going to have a full offseason knowing he's the guaranteed starter, and we still do not know what Justin Fields is fully. You need to shore up that secondary that has been a little shaky over the last year or two, since it was a point when they were the best defense in the league. Especially, and the secondary was one of the reasons of that. So with it, I think they're going to take Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington.
You know what? I say we're not going to fight it, because the reason I was saying this is tough is because, in my opinion, like, the mock draft didn't fall this way, but in my opinion, I think that Sauce is going to go a little bit later. I think he'll probably be the first guy off the board. I actually think he might go where Stingley went. So I think he might go 10 to the Jets, and then that will push Stingley here. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But with a Cameron Dantzler, who I actually really like. I like Cameron Dantzler out of Mississippi State. I always have. And you have Patrick Peterson, who's there. He's what, 31? He's in his early 30s.
He's starting to wane.
Exactly. You're gonna need a cornerback, and I'm okay with getting Trent McDuffie. I think it's a reach at this point, but the need on the team.
It's good upside, though, in my opinion. I feel like Trent McDuffie has really high upside.
It's not even by him specifically. I want to clear that up. It's not by him specifically. It's really any cornerback that's not Stingley or Gardner for me. Even a guy like Booth was kind of, so it's not about him.
I understand that.
But I'm okay with it, because you need it. You really do need it. I can see a lot of ways going, but I'm not going to argue getting a cornerback in that situation. It's a premier position on defense.
All right, so
you go ahead.
All right, so I'll go ahead and stamp it. With the number 12 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings will select Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington.
Okay.
13. All
right.
13.
All right.
Houston. Unlucky 13.
We got to get these quarterbacks off the board at some point. At
so
some point, quarterback is going to go.
You think Kenny is going to go here?
No, I think Malik Willis is the first quarterback off the board.
You think Malik Willis is going to go here? You don't think they're going to draft a receiver, even though they had chances to get like a Baker Mayfield when they made the trade? They decided against getting Baker Mayfield, even though it would have helped with the contract aspect of it. You know, it would have just made everything simpler. They instead took picks So with that, you still believe that they're going to use this pick on a quarterback?
I'll say this.
I don't. I
I'll say
don't have a definitive answer of where they're gonna go. I thought they were maybe gonna go with the skill position, like wide receiver.
I get it. And the thing about Baker is we've seen it. I know what Baker is not.
He's not a superstar.
I don't want it. Now you have a guy who you don't exactly know what he is. It's a little bit different of a situation. And it's tough because I don't think Malik Willis is here. But if you have Malik Willis and the traits that he has, that cannon of an arm, that athleticism, it may make you double take. It may. Who is your skill position though? Here we go. Because I think that
they did just sure up Brandon Cooks, I believe.
Too much. That's what I think. But if you have a guy who is one of those guys, I can see it. For me, it's not Jamison Williams because he's not going to be on the field immediately. I know his body is healing a little bit more, but
right.
We'll see.
Stamp it. I can't argue with it too much because their quarterback room is not championship material. It's not playoff material. It's not ready to compete for division.
I think there's a reason they didn't pick him at 3. I think they're okay with Davis Mills to last this year and maybe go into a better quarterback class next year.
So you're more thinking of him as a project?
Malik Willis?
Yes.
I don't know if project's the right word. It feels a little much.
I mean, I'm not trying to say it like that, but you're saying he may have to sit for a little second. You're not thinking he's a day one starter.
It's the fact that I think you'll probably have better guys in next year's draft. And I think you've been content with Davis Mills. I think they like Davis Mills. See, that's the interesting thing. From here, take out the Ravens in the Chargers.
Right.
Texans, Eagles, Saints, Steelers, they all either have a guy that they like but don't love, or they don't have a guy at all. So now it's a situation where that means quarterback is in play for you. And Malik Willis, being the best prospect, he could be that guy. I'm going with my gut feeling that the fall stops here at 13.
Okay, stamp it.
Malik Willis. Oh, my bad. Let's get official. With the number 13 pick in the 2022 draft, the Houston Texans select Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty. Okay.
Ooh, that is going to be one that's going to be talked about on Spot On Sports for years to come.
This may be the most interesting pick thus far for us.
I'm playing it safe.
You have
the Baltimore Ravens at number 14. Sure up that offensive line.
Okay.
Trevor Penny.
Okay.
Go ahead, grab Trevor Penny.
Hold on.
He's the best left.
Let me just ask you. Sure up the line with Trevor Penny. Get Lamar Jackson a dynamic weapon. I'm putting the ball in your court. Whatever you say, we're gonna go with. I just want to put it there for you to ask, what would you do?
I'm gonna lose sleep at night thinking about that question.
And I'm not even talking about the edge rusher that you might want to add. And they got some ways they could go with this.
They have 2 picks right now. We have to remember that it's 2 picks.
They don't have 2 picks. They got 1.
Oh, they only have 1 in. Oh my goodness! I thought they were one of the teams that had 2 picks. Oh my goodness.
And it's not fair for me to put this pressure on you the way I am, but I'm asking you. Weapon, blocking.
What weapon?
This is you. You got it. This is whoever you wanted to.
Because if it would be a weapon, it would probably be Jamison right here. But I'm gonna go with the offensive lineman. I'm going with Trevor Penny. I'm nervous about the fact that Lamar takes so many hits. He has not signed that contract yet. And if he is to get injured for a little bit of time, there is nothing that will stop him from wanting money that he is not yet done enough. And he's done a lot. MVP and things like that. He needs an offensive line to sure up. The Baltimore Ravens have always been a run-first team. Lamar is a run-first quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. with the 14th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Trevor Penning, offensive tackle. We're just gonna go ahead and stamp it.
All right. Now we have
and leave it.
right?
And ooh,
I'm going Drake London. He feels like the type of they love their wide receivers, and he feels like the type of wide receiver that they like. He's not my guy, but he feels like the guy that they would choose.
Would that be receivers 3 straight years in the first round?
You know what?
So that would be Jalen Reagor. That would be Devontae Smith, and then you're going Drake.
Look, they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's broke, fix it.
It's broken.
It's broken.
It's broken, but is
it
only the receiver room that's broken, or is it that quarterback that's a little broken as well?
I'm not picking Kenny Pickett here, but I'm not.
I am thinking that Kenny Pickett might not be terrible here.
Listen, this is my God's honest belief is that the Eagles are stacking up picks to give Jalen Hurts the best opportunity to prove that he's that guy.
Jalen Hurts don't got it.
I agree. But
he don't got it.
I believe, not only do I believe that he don't have it like that, I do believe that the Philadelphia Eagles want to find out if with everything good around them, because there's so many quarterbacks out here who need everything around them. Okay,
this is true.
And if you can build around that guy without having to get another quarterback, I think they're going to give him the opportunity to do it. You have to remember this draft class, as far as quarterback goes, is considered significantly inferior to next year's draft class. If he's not that guy, he'll prove it this year. You have all the weapons around your future quarterback that you can draft next year, because they got two first rounders next year.
With another receiver?
What you got?
And do we know how good that second pick will be as the Saints are loading up in a weakened NFC? Do we know how good that pick will be?
I'll say this. If Jalen Hurts ain't the guy, it probably is not going to hold that much weight how good the Saints are. If Jalen Hurts is not that guy. You know, if they're in the same situation, let's just say
Okay, I'm gonna let you win. The reason I'm saying I'm gonna let you win is because they've already kind of proven with other of their moves that they want Jalen Hurts to be their quarterback. They flirted with Deshaun Watson for like 45 seconds. So, okay, stamp it, because Kenny Pickett needs to get off this board very soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
With the 15th pick in the 2022 draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Drake London, wide receiver, Southern California. Now we get to that pick, 16.
This is not where Kenny Pickett is going.
Now we get to that pick, though.
It's not where Kenny Pickett is going.
I don't think it should go there.
I'm gonna say this. So what for the third time, we need to get Jamison Williams right here, right now, wide receiver, Alabama. Get him before anybody else takes him off the board. I feel like he has the best chance to be a NFL ready receiver right now out of the draft.
I can't argue.
And then to be complemented with Michael Thomas, who is going to be taking a lot of the pressure off of him. I feel like Jamison Williams can have a breakout rookie season, especially thinking about the fact that Jameis Winston has a chip on his shoulder after ACL. He's not a very mobile quarterback, so it's not going to affect his game too much.
Hey, you better start disrespecting Jameis. I know you started that boy running last
year. He has a little shuffle, but he's not a mobile quarterback. So with that, Jamison Williams is perfect right here. Perfect.
Let's do it. I'm not going to, ain't no fighting me.
With the 2022, with the 16th pick. Yes, because I am speaking this into existence as well. With the 16th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jamison Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. I can't wait. I can't. I feel like that is the pick. I feel like that is the best answer, and the Saints are gonna do things that a lot of people didn't think they were gonna do. We're not gonna talk about that. My other team that I think is gonna do a lot of things that people didn't think that they were gonna do. The 17th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Zion
What you think
Johnson.
about? Who?
Zion Johnson, offensive guard, Boston College.
Ooh, yeah, especially since we've already taken the rest of the people off the board that I thought would have went in this spot. So
Now you're getting kind of tough, man. Now you're getting to a situation where
you're just plugging holes and you're filling needs because the Chargers did so much in free agency. Excuse me, the Chargers did so much in free agency that at this point in the draft, they're just trying to plug any little holes that they think they might have a little bit. So offensive guard is going to be great. You have oh, his name is escaping me right now. Quarterback. Um
Herbert.
yeah, Justin Herbert, my favorite. You have
Obviously
Justin
not.
Herbert. You have Justin Herbert. He has shown in multiple seasons that he has it. Whether or not they have won is based on, we're going to take some coaching, we're going to take some defensive lapses, we're going to take some injuries. But Justin Herbert has shown that he's a franchise quarterback, a franchise changing quarterback, potentially transcending arm. Shore up that offensive line and let him show you what he can do in a very stacked division. So I go ahead, stamp it. I love it.
All right. With the number 17 pick in the 2022 draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Zion Johnson, offensive guard, Boston College.
I like it.
Now we're back. Now we're back with the doubling up now. Now we right
Back
back
to the
with the
Eagles
Eagles Saint
again.
combo. And with the last pick, we selected Drake London. I felt like he was a big body
Yes.
receiver. And it just felt like the type of guy that they would go for. It
Yes.
felt like an appropriate Philadelphia Eagle pick because, he's a bigger guy as compared to the Devontae Smith, who is a small
Right.
frame guy. You have
Right.
two guys who are different and could get. I think maybe a cornerback. Is this where Andrew Booth comes off the board? Maybe to partner
This is
somebody with
probably
Darius Slay?
this is probably the best spot for Andrew Booth, especially where he won't have to worry about potentially being somebody's number one corner coming directly out of the draft. He'll be partnered with Darius Slay. He'll be able to help shore up a defense that was rallying towards the end of the season and things like that. It always seems like those Eagles defenses get better throughout the season. They don't always start off as great, but then they kind of finish a lot stronger. So Booth would be great right here. I like it. I don't have no arguments. Go ahead, stamp it in.
All right. With the number 18 pick in the 2022 draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Andrew Booth, cornerback, Clemson.
I like
And
it.
I don't know who I want the Saints to draft here.
You have not been looking. Maybe.
I don't know who I want the Saints to draft here. I want an offensive lineman. I feel like the positional value or the rankings, I feel like it'll be a bit of a reach to try to
It's
go get.
diminished significantly. If you're gonna reach, I would reach on the defensive side, maybe a defensive tackle.
Devontae Wyatt.
Devontae Wyatt might
A lot of people
be.
like Jordan Davis, and I think Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is still on this board, but
Jordan Davis is still on this board.
he was taken out a lot in Georgia, and it scares me. It worries me. I could end up being wrong. It could mean nothing, but it kind of worries me about how much he'll play on passing downs.
I like Devontae Wyatt's completeness. I like Devontae Wyatt's ability to play all four downs, and he doesn't have as much upside, but consistency is key, especially on a defense that won't need him, but will just kind of need him to play a great role. And if he becomes something better, that'll be amazing because he's already on a defense that's gonna have Cam Jordan, that's gonna have Demario Davis,
Hold on.
so that
I disagree. Hold on, and I got to stop you there. I
go ahead.
disagree. The need for what he's going to need to be, I think, is actually pretty big. I think that defensive tackle is a pretty good hole for them. They need somebody in that 3 tech. I think they struggled to get interior pressure last year. I don't think that this is a guy who is going to step into a situation. He's going to have some people next to him, but he's going to have some pressure on him to create pressure. So if that
Okay.
put it out there, I don't know if that changed your mind.
I like Devontae Wyatt here. Go
Okay,
ahead and say this is your team. This is your team. This is my team, but this is your team. So I'm gonna go ahead. If you want to stamp it, I'm gonna let you stamp it in.
This is your team. This is our team.
Of course, it's our team, but I'm saying it like that so that way I can put you on the spot for the pick because I don't know either. It's at this point us having two is so very interesting, especially since you have to take something a position of need here, which is very important because you're not in the 20s and late 20s and early 30s. You can get an impact player here. So are we gonna plug a hole? Are we gonna look for an impact player? I'll let you choose, man. I can't do it. I can't do it.
My preferred route. I prefer to get the offensive lineman at 16. I'll just be honest. I think that at 19, there's a good. I came in here prepared to get my wide receiver at 19 and come up with a surprise pick. I did. I came completely ready.
I was very nervous that Jamison Williams would be gone if we did not pick him.
Oh, I would have messed your head up if he was gone. I probably would have, because I would have thrown a name out there that I don't think you would have seen coming, but I feel strongly about. But that's neither here nor there because it didn't happen. We're gonna go with Devontae Wyatt. I'm gonna stick with Devontae Wyatt. The safety is kind of interesting, but my gut feeling tells me that Tyrann Mathieu gets signed in some capacity to the Saints.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu is gonna go to the Saints. Surely.
So I'm not gonna go safety there. I'm going with Devontae Wyatt. All right, let's get it. So with the 19th pick in the 2022 draft, the New Orleans Saints select Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia. That was a tough one. I think this one is an easy one. Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral. But probably Kenny Pickett. I like Matt Corral a lot, more than a lot of people.
I do not like Matt Corral as much as you do. You have said this on other shows that you do like Matt Corral. I do not like him as much as Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is a sure fire pick. I don't know why. I don't know if he's gonna be life changing or anything like that, but I know Kenny Pickett is. He's gonna be able to play week 1.